Thank you so much for joining me at the Presidency of the Republic of Ghana. My name is Nanayao. This week at the Presidency, President John Dramani Mahama holds bilateral meeting with the German President Frank-Walter Steinmeier. Details of these and many other stories coming up shortly. Do stay tuned. Thank you so much for joining me today. President John Dramani Mahama held a bilateral meeting with German President Frank-Walter Steinmeier on the sideline of the 2025 Munich Security Conference. The two leaders discussed strengthening the bilateral ties between Ghana and Germany and collaborating on key global challenges, including security. Also this week at the Presidency, President John Dramani Mahama has called on African nations to strengthen domestic resource mobilization to reduce reliance on external funding and foster sustainable economic growth. Speaking at the African Union Summit Heads of State and Government Breakfast Dialogue, he highlighted Africa's economic resilience, forecasting growth recovery of 3.7% in 2024 and 4.03% in 2025. However, he cautioned that the growth has not consistently improved per capita incomes as many economies still rely on low productivity sectors. President Mahama stressed the urgency of addressing Africa's estimated $402 billion annual financing gap through strategic investments in critical sectors such as infrastructure, education, and healthcare. To bridge this gap, President Mahama proposed a multifaceted approach including improved tax administration, curbing illicit financial flows, and enhancing the role of African multilateral financing institutions. He emphasized the importance of accelerating the establishment of key institutions like the Africa Central Bank and the African Monetary Fund to drive sustainable development. Also this week at the Presidency, President Mahama has demonstrated his commitment to transparency and accountability by publicly presenting his asset declaration forms to the Auditor General in line with Article 286 of the 1992 Constitution. Acknowledging the secrecy surrounding Ghana's asset declaration process, President Mahama emphasized the need for openness to strengthen anti-corruption efforts. He stressed that preventing corruption is more effective than merely punishing offenders, and if properly enforced, the asset declaration system could serve as a critical tool in combating corruption. The government of Ghana under President John Dramani Mahama has announced the National Economic Dialogue set for March 3rd and 4th, 2025 at the Accra International Conference Center. This forum will address Ghana's economic challenges and develop sustainable solutions through broad stakeholder engagements. President Mahama will deliver a keynote address on resetting Ghana, building the economy we want together, reinforcing his commitment to the inclusive policy making. Key participants from private sector, academia, and civil society will discuss macroeconomic stability, economic transformation, infrastructure development, private sector growth, and governance reforms. President John Dramani Mahama has launched the National Education Consultative Forum. The forum marks the beginning of the National Dialogue on Education Reform, emphasizing the urgent need for a unified platform to address declining standards. The President reaffirms a commitment to inclusive policy making, ensuring that diverse voices contribute to shaping a more effective and equitable education system in Ghana. Also this week at the Presidency, Ghana remains stable and the President John Dramani Mahama has been briefed on the state of the economy, expressing confidence in the proposed policy to addressing ongoing challenges. Minister for Government Communications Felix Fosu-Kwakye emphasized that the government is prioritizing the rollout of the 24-hour economy policy as a key strategy for economic transformation. Finance Minister Dr. Kesilato Forsin acknowledged that the economic situation is worse than initially anticipated, underscoring the urgency of the government's intervention. Ghana's Finance Minister Dr. Kesilato Forsin will present the first budget of the Republic of Ghana to the Parliament of Ghana on 11th March 2025, outlining economic policies aimed at national transformation in line with President Mahama's vision. According to the Minister of Government Communications, Felix Fosu-Kwakye, the budget will incorporate recommendations from the National Economic Dialogue scheduled for March 3 to 4 on 2025, where experts and stakeholders will discuss strategies to address Ghana's economic challenges. During the first cabinet meeting, Dr. Forson highlighted the dire economic situation, stating that the figures were just worse than anticipated before the elections. The meeting focused on setting benchmarks for ministers and included discussions on security, the 24-hour economy policy, and the agriculture transformation agenda. This week, also at the presidency, President John Dramani Mahama held a meeting with the National Tripartite Committee to negotiate the base pay for the year 2025. The president thanked the labor unions, the employers, and the government representative for agreeing to a 10% increase in the base pay. The president made a commitment to the workers that there would be no wasteful expenditure under his presidency. He noted that there will be cut downs on government expenditure, including the budget of the Office of the Government Machinery.
Comrades, you know we are your natural allies, and we've worked together for many years. One thing that is a cardinal principle for us is to tell the truth at all times. We all knew the economy was in crisis, but some of the things I'm discovering myself, it's been a criminal handling of our economy. And Ghana is a crime scene, actually, because how a government can have been so reckless, I cannot understand. But we're faced with a reality, and our options are very few. We can behave like the ostrich and hide our heads in the sand and let the economy crash. But then what effect would it have on Ghanaian households and everybody? And so I've told him, I said, cut expenditure as much as you like. Even we ourselves in Office of Government Machinery, cut as much of our budget as you like, because we all must make those sacrifices. A certain distrust of the political class has arisen, because it's like when everybody else is tightening their belts, the political class is loosening its belts. But I want to assure you that we're all going to tighten our belts, and there will be no wasteful expenditure. It is said that we create and share. And so let's start cooking the meal now so that we can share when we have created. But right now, the meal is not only insufficient, the cooking pot is even leaking. And so I'll just appeal to you that let's temper our demands for this year. And once we get out of the woods, we've set good targets to bring inflation down so that the cost of everything will come down. We've set targets to grow the economy, to make things better. And when the cake is baked and it's bigger, we'll share bigger. We are proposing an independent emoluments committee that would set the incomes for everybody from the president right down to the ordinary laborer. We are prepared to walk this journey with you, but I just appeal to you that let's reach agreement on this one so that we use this year as the year of correction. And then after we've corrected, we'll see how the economy continues to go. Once the economy moves in the direction that we are all hoping for, we all, if we have an independent emoluments committee, maybe if you suggest 35%, I'll support you because it will affect my pay too.
Also this week at the presidency, President John Dramani Mahama held a meeting with the visiting UK Deputy Prime Minister Angela Rayner to strengthen bilateral relations between the two countries. The president reiterated that the relations between the two countries is excellent and must be maintained.
We're happy to have you. Of course, the relations between Ghana and UK are excellent and are historical and will continue to be. There's not going to be any change in our foreign policy towards the UK. We even want to work so that we can move our relationship to an even higher level. We have a lot of bilateral cooperation that we want to look at and see how we can align some of those things to fit the vision of the new government. And so we'll be sitting with your representatives here to see what areas of cooperation we're already having, how we can push them faster, and then see how we can align some of those to fit the vision that we have. We're going through an economic crisis that is known by everybody. We're in an IMF program, and one of the things it enjoins us to do is to be very prudent in terms of our fiscal discipline. We have a young, growing population, and so one of the major issues, and that came up strongly in the election, was the issue of jobs. And so working together to see how we can bring in more investments, especially considering that we're shut out of the international credit markets, to bring in more foreign direct investment, to be able to create jobs for young people is one of the things that we're going to be focusing on. And I believe that, I mean, with the history of British companies investing in Ghana, we've got a long tradition. And so how we can showcase the opportunities that are still available in Ghana and bring more British companies in to come and partner with us in that objective is something that we'll look to do.
It's an absolute honour and a privilege to be here and to be one of the first to come over and to see you and your great election victory. And what struck me is your election was around a 24-hour economy, and yes, we have a mutual aspiration for both the UK economy and here in Ghana. And I was only this morning seeing some of the entrepreneurs you have here and the expansion of jobs that they want to create here in the economy, and our long history of supporting your endeavours is what we're going to continue to do, and so we will be there as a friend, as we always have been, to support.
Also this week at the presidency, Vice President Professor Jane Nana Opoku-Agyeman met with the Mexican ambassador to Ghana, Her Excellency Norman and Sanchez, to discuss ways to strengthen the bilateral ties between the two nations. Ambassador Sanchez expressed her strong commitment to fostering deeper cooperations between Ghana and Mexico. During the conversation, the Vice President Nana Jane Opoku-Agyeman emphasized the importance of exchanging ideas and encouraging mutual understanding. She highlighted the peaceful coexistence between the two countries and stressed the need to embrace the differences while addressing shared challenges for a collaborative and collective benefit. The Vice President also this week at the presidency welcomed a delegation of ambassadors from the Southern African Development Community. They offered their congratulations, and together the Vice President reaffirmed her commitment to continued collaboration among the countries.
Your Excellency, Vice President of the Republic of Ghana, Professor Jane Nana Opoku-Agyeman, it is our greatest honor to extend warm greetings and heartfelt congratulations to Your Excellency on your election as Vice President of the Republic of Ghana. Allow me, Your Excellency, to convey through you the same congratulations to His Excellency President John Dramani Mahama and the ruling National Democratic Congress Party. We, as representatives of SADC, recognize and commend Ghana's role in championing African unity. Your Excellency, our visit today also provides an opportunity to reaffirm SADC's commitment to cooperation and friendship with Ghana.
Thanks for your presentation. I note the areas of cooperation. I note the requests for support and other initiatives that you want Microphone to take. I believe, or I'd like to assume, that these are not new requests. If they are, I can assure you that the right bodies will deliberate and advise us accordingly. And once it is in the interest of the whole continent, we will support the initiatives that you have said. I'm very happy to meet all of you from SADC, all the groupings we have, whether it's ECOWAS or SADC or whatever. What do the young people know now? Who talks about it so they can appreciate why it is important for Africa to unite? Why it has taken so long? What causes the rifts? All of these are things that we need to really, really work at. In order to be able to hold each other's back, we need to encourage all our people, men and women, to believe in ourselves, to take charge of our continent, and to leave better legacies.
This is how we wrap up this week's episode of The Presidency, and thank you so much for tuning in. I'll see you again next week. Do enjoy the rest of your week and be safe. My name is Nanayao.